Welcome back. Across the country, inner cities face many challenges, and Buffalo really is no exception. In fact, a recent survey conducted by Dr. Henry Taylor and the UB Center for Urban Studies, the spotlight is on what residents actually want. It's an effort to help rebuild, in this case, the East Side or East Buffalo. And so joining me live in studio to discuss this very different approach to revitalizing Buffalo's East Side is outsized. She's a reporter with our partners at Investigative Post. Dr. Taylor talks a lot about an alternative neighborhood model. What is that?
Well, Claudine, it's something quite unlike the city has ever seen before. So we have seen a number of revitalization efforts in the past from government and community-based organizations. And Dr. Taylor told me the reason he believes we haven't seen the success is they focused on making life better for one household at a time instead of the community. So Dr. Taylor is rejecting the classic American neighborhood model and looking at things like co-op housing, community-owned land banks, self-governed neighborhoods, and he's hoping that by making the community better as a whole, it's really going to help give us the results we want to see for rebuilding the East Side.
It's interesting because when you talk about doing this, you have to have a pilot program, right? So this would require a pilot neighborhood. Do we know anything about what factors will go into finding that right neighborhood to do a pilot?
Yes, so there are a number of things that the planners of this project are looking at. So out of 5 neighborhoods, they are selecting one, and they're looking at first the qualitative data that they've gotten from surveys. They've surveyed over 500 residents in these neighborhoods about their hopes and fears for the future of their community. And they're also looking at something they call a hardship index. So this is taking into account education levels, poverty rates, how many households are single family or single parent households rather, just traditional barriers to success that members of the East Side have faced. So by looking at what neighborhoods need help and how optimistic residents are that they will get that help, it's what's going to determine which neighborhood will be selected.
That's very interesting because you have to rebuild, right, to make, and so many people have said, so goes the East Side, so goes Buffalo, but how would rebuilding Buffalo's East Side actually help the city of Buffalo as a whole?
Well, Dr. Taylor believes there are a number of ways that it will help. First is economy. One thing that he told me is that a lot of our local landlords, especially of East Side properties, actually aren't local. They don't live in the city. Many don't even live in the county. So that's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that leave the city without cycling through even once. So by putting ownership and agency into the hands of residents, that's expected to generate more money for local households and businesses. And ultimately, he wants to use this model to expand beyond the East Side. He believes that the community-based approach is what really can help generate the city's wealth, healthier homes, and all sorts of things that we're hoping to see.
And Dr. Taylor's been doing this for a long time, looking at different things, so this whole model is very interesting. It also is interesting that he's pointing out that the people who live on the East Side are living in homes that are not owned by people who don't even live in the area. Yes. If the project is successful, transforming one neighborhood, what would happen next?
So the goal is to transform yet another neighborhood. The project planners are going to look at the outcome of this pilot neighborhood, what worked, what snags they hit along the way, and sort of use it to refine their plans so that they'll know how to work with the community better, how to collaborate, how to disperse resources. So it's just all about really building this one neighborhood to build the next in Dr. Taylor's hopes, the entire city.
It's really interesting. We're going to continue to follow this. This is outsized from Investigative Post, our partners. We want to thank you so much again for coming on the 5:30.
Thank you for having me.
Good information.